Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome to a Total War Warhammer online battle. I'm going to have a replay for you here in a second. Before we dive into it though, I want to show you the army composition of myself and my opponent. I just recreated their army here in the custom battle tab so we can look at the units a little bit in more detail. So I'm playing as the Empire, and they are playing as Chaos. They brought the Everwatcher, a couple units of Chaos Marauders with great weapons, a couple units of Chaos Warriors, 3 Chosen with great weapons, which is a very expensive unit, Chaos Knights, and the Hellcannon. So very infantry-centric army, as you would expect from Chaos. They're kind of a one-trick pony in a lot of ways. They have very good infantry, relatively expensive infantry, but pretty good infantry, and that's about it. They don't have much for ranged units. I kind of would have liked to have seen some of these monsters and beasts in the Chaos army, but it is what it is. The Hellcannon, I think, is actually a relatively good pick because it's the only range they have other than magic. And then the Chaos Knights, I think if you're playing as Chaos, you really kind of need to bring at least some sort of mobility component, whether that be Knights, Warhounds, although Warhounds are pretty weak throwaway units for the most part. They do have a little bit of missile cavalry as well, but that's about it. As for my army, I've got Boris Todbringer. Recently unlocked him by completing the Beastman campaign on my own, and wanted to play around with him a little bit. He does have the potions, both of the healing potions, which is going to make him last a lot longer in battle. He's decent in melee. I've got him on a warhorse. Then I've got 1 unit of halberdiers, mostly to counter any Chaos Knights, and because they have an armor-piercing component, and I think they are the cheapest. Yeah, they're the cheapest Empire infantry with a armor-piercing component. So I brought them mostly just to use up the remainder of my funds. I've got 4 units of greatswords, which are really going to be the backbone of my infantry line. They're good against armor, and Chaos units, Chaos infantry, are generally pretty heavily armored, so that's going to be very useful for me. I've got 4 units of handgunners, which also do armor piercing and are going to be my range component. A couple units of demigryph knights with halberds, because demigryphs are just insanely good and wreck everything. In retrospect, I probably should have brought 1 unit of halberds and 1 unit of just regular demigryph knights, because the regular ones are better against infantry and do more armor piercing damage, but I really wanted to have cavalry superiority here. And then 1 unit of outriders for armor-piercing missiles, and more just as a harassment force than anything else. So those are basically the army components. Let's go ahead and dive into the replay. All right, so here we are. We've got the Chaos forces pretty much all centered over here on this hill, and then my guys are all kind of lined up over here on this hill. Wanted to have basically camp the hill and make them charge uphill to get me, because infantry, they lack a lot of mobility, and as I said earlier, Chaos is a very infantry-heavy faction. I've got a unit of outriders hiding here in the woods, and both my demigryph units hiding in the woods down here where they can't be seen. They're hidden. Over here, we've got the Hellcannon, which was basically going to make me charge in and get them. But the range on the Hellcannon only goes to, I don't know if I can see it on this view. Oh, here we go. There's a line right here. So I'm not in range, and they're going to start moving towards me. I should probably say this is my first online battle, and for those of you who are not really familiar with me in Total War, I have been playing Total War for a very long time, but that doesn't mean that I'm a good Total War player. There's a difference between being knowledgeable and being good. So I'm going to make some mistakes in this battle, and we'll kind of take a look at those in detail. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here a little bit. We're just kind of setting up our armies a little bit, looking at each other, trying to, kind of analyze each other and get, scope each other out. Now, I noticed that he's got the Hellcannon, so I'm going to start pulling my forces back and over the ridge of this hill where they'll be out of sight and the Hellcannon can't shoot at them. He's got his Chaos Knights over here, scouting around, and I spring a trap on them with my demigryphs. They basically run right into my demigryphs, and my demigryphs are just going to wreck them and do horrible, nasty things, and pretty much take the Chaos Knights out before they have a chance to really do anything. So that's going to be very, very helpful for me because it gives me the cavalry superiority. At the same time, I'm moving my Outriders up and kind of close to his army, mostly to just kind of harass them. Now, he fired the Hellcannon, and I noticed it right away, so I'm going to pull my Demigryphs out, because I don't want them to eat a Hellcannon shot. The Hellcannon has really good range, and it does massive damage when it actually lands, although it's really meant against infantry, not against something like Demigryphs. But that's why you'll see me pull out, and then he misses anyway. So I pull out, and then I chase, and basically get his Chaos Knights off the field before they have a chance to do anything. So that's going to be very helpful for me. Now, I've got my Outrider kind of just chilling over here in these woods, and he's kind of rearranging stuff, trying to figure out, well, he knows my army's up here, but he can't actually see any of them right now because they're all hiding behind the hill. So that's good for me. And at this point, let's just fast forward a bit more. There's a lot of just kind of moving around and waiting. Now, he starts moving his army again here, and you can see his Chaos Knights have been chased off completely. My Demigryphs are over here, and I'm going to start moving them around because I'd love to get this Chaos Hellcannon off the field as quickly as possible. He's going to start kind of kicking these infantry out over here so he can actually see my guys up in here, which is going to be useful for him. Because then he can start basically taking pot shots at him with his artillery. And I realize what he's doing. So my infantry is still hiding over here, but I'm going to start bringing these Outriders over to harass him and cause a little bit of damage. Because Chaos, as I said, other than this Hellcannon, they really don't have any ranged troops. So a unit like Outriders that's a fast mobile missile unit is going to be a really good harassing and distraction force. Might not do a ton of damage just because limited ammunition and limited troops, but definitely an annoyance. Kind of a repeated bee sting, if you will. So you can see I've got my Outriders moving over here to harass. The main engagement really hasn't started, but I'm going to start shooting into these Chosen with great weapons. Keep in mind, these Chosen are a very expensive unit. This is, I think they're $14.50 a pop or something like that. They're really expensive, so any damage I can get in on them early and kind of soften them up is going to be good. Now, he drops a spell on me, which does a fair amount of damage, but doesn't kill a whole lot of my guys. It's pretty much all just health damage. I only lose 3 units from him. He fires his Hellcannon and pretty much just completely misses. All this time, he's still got these units kind of kicking up over this way so they can get eyes and line of sight on my main force over here so that he can start shooting at him with the Hellcannon. I'm going to keep just harassing him with my Outriders, just keep firing into his infantry, keep bugging him, hoping that he'll start moving these guys up and leave his Hellcannon unexposed so I can charge in with my Demigryphs, which are hiding in the woods right here. Now, he fires another spell and completely misses that one because I have time to get him out. One advantage of having something fast like Outriders is that if they're not tied down at all, those spells are going to be pretty useless because I've got enough reaction time, especially when all of my micromanagement is basically focused right here. And he gets a nasty shot with the Hellcannon. I think that was pretty much, what was that, like, that was 10 units. 10 of my Outriders die right there, and then I lose 3 more. So the Hellcannon's doing some nasty work to my Outriders, but that means that he's firing at my Outriders, not my main infantry forces up here, which honestly is really good for me because the Hellcannon is meant to take out large groups of infantry, and they would do a lot of damage to my main greatswords and stuff like that. These Outriders were really just picked as kind of a harassment and distraction force. And notice, he's got his Hellcannon here, but there's nothing really protecting his Hellcannon. He can move these infantry in, but if I can get a good Demigryph charge, I'll be in good shape. At this point, I'm basically just avoiding his Hellcannon shots, trying to get away, and you can see he keeps clustering up his infantry here, trying to move and trap my Outriders, which aren't really going to be all that, I mean, they're not that high value of a target, in my opinion. As I said, I make some mistakes in this battle, but so does my opponent, for sure, without a doubt. Now, I'm going to just start firing into these guys, basically just harassing his infantry as best I can, just annoy him and make him kind of focus on this. And while that's going on, I'm starting to move these infantry units up so that I can get a downhill charge when we actually meet in battle. he's going to keep firing his Hellcannon at my Outriders. He's focused on my Outriders. I don't know if he even really sees that these guys are moving up, and my Outriders right there are going to eat it and start routing. So now he can start worrying about my main infantry blobs because my Outriders have been chased off the field. So you can see the Hellcannon starts turning, and it fires, and that one goes straight into the side of the hill. So nothing, no damage there, but he's basically got free shots on my infantry right now until I can get rid of that Hellcannon. He does not realize I've got demigriffs hiding in the woods here, and I'm going to issue a charge and get him to try and basically take out that Hellcannon as quickly as I can as all of his infantry kind of move away. And the rest of my guys are kind of getting in position. My Outriders do come back from routing and start shooting at his Chaos Marauders a little bit more. But my demigriffs here are charging up the back, and they're going to do all sorts of nasty things to this Hellcannon. Let's just take a look at this. We got a nice demigriff charge. These are beautiful units. Absolutely gorgeous, and they are nasty and mean and very powerful, especially if they get you in the back. Now, the Hellcannon here is an unbreakable unit, so they're not going to charge it and scare it off and cause it to rout, but they are going to tie it down and get some decent damage in on it, mostly just basically stop it from firing. And while that's going on, you can see my handgunners are actually pretty much in range of this Hellcannon. So my demigriffs, I'm going to pull them out so I can cycle charge, and then I'm going to start moving my handgunners up so I can start shooting and hopefully just drop this Hellcannon with my actual ranged handgunners. If you're playing as Chaos, don't let your handgunners, don't let your artillery get in range of the enemy skirmishers, because it's going to be bad. You can see once I start firing at this Hellcannon how quickly its health drops. That was just one volley, and it lost about a quarter of its health right there. Yeah, it's going to be bad. This thing's going to drop very, very quickly, so I'm not too worried about them. My Outriders over here are wavering again, but at this point, they've served their purpose. They did their distraction tactics. He's going to start charging his infantry up the field, and I'm going to run into these Chaos Warriors with my demigriffs. His Hellcannon's basically gone at this point. There it goes. It's destroyed. It's useless now. So all of that gold wasted. This thing got 21 kills, which definitely did not pay for itself, especially since basically all of those were on my Outriders, which were a throwaway unit for me anyway. I'm going to start moving my greatswords up so I can get a charge down the hill, and then I think, yeah, here I'm going to start pulling my handgunners back so they don't eat the charge from these chosen with great weapons. But these guys are already pretty damaged. They've lost a lot of health. They've lost a lot of guys from my Outriders and from my demigriffs. My demigriffs are going to mop up these Chaos Warriors without any real troubles. And these chosen with great weapons, once again, very expensive unit. They're going to eat it pretty quickly. They're not going to stick around for very long. So over here, now we've finally got the melee engagement going. I've got my infantry charging down. This was not microed very well. I should have sent one of my infantry out this way, spread this line a little bit thinner and wider so that it could cap this, because he's going to get these guys around the flanks along with these Chaos Warriors as well, and that's going to cause some problems. But in the meantime, my handgunners are just going to do massive damage to these Chaos Marauders that are walking around and trying to outflank me. I do have a handgunner back here that's just sitting there doing nothing, basically being useless. Oh no, here we go. He's firing down, finishing off those chosen with great weapons. Okay. I've got my demigriffs down here, which are about to get attacked by Chaos Marauders with great weapons, and then at the last minute I notice it and issue an order to get them out of there where they can be useful. I really don't want to get them tied down in an extended melee fight. It's just not going to be good. That's not what they're good for. And it would basically be a waste of my amazingly awesome and very expensive demigriffs. So here we've got Chaos Marauders breaking. We've got the Everwatcher charging in here. Where is my general? I thought I started hammering him with my general, but I don't actually see... I don't see my general anywhere. Maybe he's somewhere. Maybe I totally forgot about him. I don't even know. Either way, he's got his general basically harassing my handgunners, doing some damage there. Oh, here's my general. He was in the middle supporting my troops. I've got my demigriffs chasing off these Chaos Marauders with great weapons. And you can see his infantry is kind of running into problems. He's got a Marauders over here that broke and came back. It's just sitting there. I'm winning this infantry fight relatively well. I've got the uphill advantage. My great swords are not doing so well against his chosen with great weapons, but great swords are also a lot cheaper. And they're getting supported by basically all of these handgunners up here on the hill, and I'm going to bring my demigriffs around and try and start charging into these blobs to break these up so I can focus the rest of my forces as well. And look at that charge by the demigriffs. That just does nasty things to those Chaos Warriors. I'm going to pull them out right away so I can cycle charge again. Took some very nice morale damage. You can see they're starting to waver. This little gray bar is their morale. And once that goes down, they're going to run away in terror, like the cowards they are, in a shameful display. If you're a Shogun, if you're an old Shogun 2 fan, you'll get that reference. But anyway, so at this point, it's pretty much just mopping up the enemy chosen, and I basically just tell everything to kill his his lord, and that's basically going to do it for the chosen. So. Or for the chaos, the warriors of chaos. They have nothing at this point. So, a few things we can learn from this fight. Obviously, army composition, very important. Kind of think about what your... Oh, man, you know what I did? I forgot to look at the kills and stuff that they got. Hold on. Let me get back to that screen. All right, there we go. So, yeah. 21 kills on the Hellcannon. I'm pretty sure that all of those were on my Outriders. So for 1,200 gold, that unit was essentially wasted. He had a chosen with great weapons here that got eaten by my Outriders. 10 kills. There's 1450 down the basically down the tubes. Now these chosen with great weapons actually did some work and pretty much got all of his kills except for the ones that the Everwatcher got with magic, and I think the Everwatcher may have been in melee combat a little bit. But the majority of his units just shut down. And then on the flip side of that, my greatswords all did pretty well, except for this one. I'm not sure what they were fighting, but they didn't do so hot. My demigriffs got some serious work done. My handgunners did pretty well. They took down that Hellcannon very quickly before it could really become relevant. And my Outriders, they didn't get a lot of kills, but they really served their purpose as a harassment and distraction force. So... even my halberdiers getting a little bit of work, and even Todd Bringer himself doing some work. He did some work on the Everwatcher. But there you have it, guys. I think that is going to do it for this online battle. Good game to fought Korgs. It was fun. But yeah, Empire, definitely a better overall faction than Chaos. I didn't necessarily play them particularly well, but Empire, very versatile. And Chaos just really isn't. Chaos is a very hard faction to win with, just because they're so infantry heavy and they lack a lot of the tools that another faction like the Empire, for example, has. So, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it, and it really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching. And I'll definitely see you next time.